Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen frequently asked questions and updates from the Calling All Devs and Spectrum. They've talked more about blind quantum jumps now and what they kind of mean by that term. So they want shipping lanes to be a more sure bet between places, likely you'd select waypoints and travel there. They said that you would be able to blind jump travel towards an object for exploration purposes or to find some cool stuff. So you could see a gas cloud or asteroid field in the distance, and you should be able to go there. There will be limits imposed by your quantum drive's range, and this will make certain ships have an advantage, but it's my personal understanding of what they are trying to do and say with this is you will potentially have to set waypoints and scan items down to travel to them accurately. Knowing something is there by seeing it should allow you to set a waypoint there. Maybe it will appear on your Moby-Glass star map if it's a large enough object, even without scanning. They are going to be working on quantum linking in the shorter term, but tell me what you think about this. So for me, I'm very much in favour of having the ability to scan down locations, being able to see some things on your star map, just like, oh, there's an interesting thing over there, just because I can see a large object in the distance, even without my radar, it just kind of picks it up passively. But I would like that form of scanning. And talking about scanning, they are working on scanning features. Rather than any form of mini-game, it's going to be more closely tied to the radar mechanics. Active scanning will allow you various functionality. You can do a 360 ping for some basic info on a large area, and then that will give you some like low resolution information, or you can go for a more focused narrow cone for more info and more resolution in a particular direction, and that's going to help you find and narrow down exactly what you're looking for. You'll also be able to actively scan a specific target, an object, to get more information on them, so info about their cargo, vital statistics, owner, armament, composition. This is also going to be used for scanning asteroids and mining deposits too. Environmental effects may cause different types of scans to be ineffective or certain signals to be obscured. So you're going to be able to detect like IR, CS and EM signatures, and all of this is going to be signature based. So if something obscures that particular signature or makes it a bit fuzzier or harder to detect, then you might not see it. The first implementation of this scanning may make it into 3.2 in June. Ship cockpit flare will be more than just bobbleheads, and there should be some variety. They will attach to various item ports of different sizes. These small items are aimed to be in for the end of the year. Then they're going to expand it out further, so other than just bobbleheads and little items around, you'll be able to potentially have big Benny's machines and pianos and things like that, which will attach to their own little ports. With scheduling, they may leapfrog over other features if others become more important to prioritise, and it's recommended that you get involved with that 3.2 survey. This helps them choose which features get prioritised and polished for the next major patch, and I assume it will be going on beyond this 3.2 kind of scheduling. It will look at 3.3 and 3.4 as and when appropriate. Ship-to-ship docking is planned again. You're going to be able to dock certain ships together for the transfer of people and cargo and potentially also boarding. You'll also be able to dock large ships to stations too. They are working further on ships docking inside each other as well. The Cutlass is not going to have its docking collar though, so just bear that in mind. They are planning much more in-depth multi-crew experiences, but there's a backlog for a lot of these features. More Item System 2.0 features that are currently being looked at for 3.2 may make this a lot better, however, as this includes the systems communicating with each other on ships correctly, and each of the items, shields, power, all the components of the ship having more functionality and therefore more MFD functionality, and lending to other players being able to interact with them and actually make a difference when using them. Some other news for 3.1 Live. 3.1 certainly has some problems. It's an alpha after all, and I'll be getting a state of the game up later covering various points and my criticism of the patch and stuff that I think that they need to fix quickly. However, there is, more importantly, some ship insurance claims, expediting fees, and times being too high issues that the current patch has to kind of get sorted ASAP, with some players having to wait 8 hours to get their only ship back, for example. And CIG's Xylo responded to this on Spectrum. We are currently aiming to get a stability patch out by the end of the week that will address the expediting fees, as they are currently set too high, considering the possibility of a client crash. In addition, we have been developing the ability to auto-rejoin in the case of a crash, with proper ship persistence. But unfortunately, it didn't quite make the cut for 3.1. There is a chance we will get this functionality in-game in an interim patch before 3.2, after the stability patch we aim to release at the end of this week. But, of course, no guarantees. I do want to reiterate, though, that the long-term design intention is to have consequences for losing your ship in the persistent universe, specifically due to in-game events, not client or server crashes, to create risk-reward dynamics. The bigger the ship, the bigger the deductible/time penalty will be, although it's massively important to call out that we will balance this against the economy to make sure that the earning potential matches the risk. So they're going to have these tools, Trade Slayer and Price Fixer and things like that will dynamically look at the price of ships as well. And they're going to have varying different types of insurance. You'll be able to insure your weapons and cargo potentially separately, and there might be better types of insurance for your ships. That is all still being fleshed out currently. This is great because I like patches, and the more accessibility to players giving us less crashes and fixing stupid balance, the better, because that is a little bit annoying for 3.1, people having to wait huge amounts of time, especially if they're getting trolled, especially if they've had a crash, especially if someone's crashed into them rather than a client crash. It's just important to get that fixed, and I'm glad they're addressing it before the end of this week. Every month we have a giveaway for a ship for Star Citizen. This time for April, it's the massive heavy salvage ship, the Aegis Reclaimer, provided by our featured app, My Radar. My Radar is a free weather app that also includes full-scale maps of the 3 moons of Crusader, Yela, Selin, and Daymar. Users can scroll around the interactive maps and zoom into the landscape and geography of those moons. My Radar is available in the US, Europe, Japan, South Korea, and coming this summer to Australia. It's a real weather app as well, so in those countries you can see the real weather of your area around you. And it's also available on iOS, Android, and Windows. Please check out the links below. To be in for a chance of winning that Reclaimer though, please make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos through April. Each video gives you another chance to win. Do you have any questions about the Calling All Devs, or about the questions that we answered there, or Squadron 42's development, or gameplay mechanics, or suggestions for mechanics or videos, or whatever? Just chuck them in the comments below. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. You can find the links to Patreon as well as everything else we discussed down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.